Good afternoon or good evening. Thank you very much. I have about a minute of testimony, so it's short and sweet. My name is Susan Razza. I'm from Newport. I'm not here to speak on the chemicals or the chemistry of PFAS. Chemistry was not my best subject. I am here to talk about these bills. Removing proven carcinogens, from our environment should be a no-brainer. However, the speaker has said, there is nothing Rhode Island can do to address climate change in a way that is real or impactful. This is quoting him now. This is a national interest issue. The 50 square foot of the state of Rhode Island cannot positively or negatively impact the environment. Well, the longest journey starts with one step and then another and another. Before you know it, strides are made, and then leaps and bounds, and then pow, you have significant changes. These bills are one step. Thank
you. I'm Tom McReed from Portsmouth. I believe that Bill 7216 should not be...
Did you get the button now?
That's
correct. Should be up is up for the TV audience.
No. Yeah.
you.
All right. So, thank you. I believe that Bill 7216 should not be passed as written. This is not the time for setting PFAS levels for groundwater and standing water. PFAS is a complex problem that needs to be addressed scientifically. Levels need to be set on the factual basis of risk. Not enough is known to properly set these levels. Levels set by the health department in the time frames given in this bill will either be too high with human health consequences or too low and mandate unnecessary remediation costs. Once a standard is established, it's very hard to change. At this time, what is needed is to require testing of not only the drinking water, but also the groundwaters and standing or runoff waters around the state. This is especially true for the state cleanup list, which needs to be expanded. It is also true near the military installations at Quonset and Aquidneck Island, where firefighting foam was regularly used and trained with. This way, residents and the state can know what we are dealing with, not just the drinking water. I live near a known military PFAS site and have not been able to access any test data. Areas with marginal PFAS levels should be retested frequently, and I mean beyond landfills that we heard about. The bill should require notification of residents about PFAS levels in their area for drinking and runoff waters, along with the potential implications. Of course, anything over the EPA suggested level of concern of 70 parts per million should be addressed. It is not fully known how plants take up PFAS or how fast. So what level of PFAS in groundwater used for irrigation crops is acceptable? It is not fully known how quickly PFAS enters the skin of children, so what level should be set for giving them a bath or letting them swim in streams with PFAS, or even the bay near those runoff streams. How does runoff water with PFAS affect aquaculture in the bay? Oysters and clams are prodigious filter feeders. They and the fish and birds that prey on them are food for humans. How quickly is PFAS concentrating in our local food supply? Science is simply not caught up for the levels to be set on a true scientific basis. This is a complicated problem, and the science is not there yet for answers to these questions. Instead, this bill should ensure residents are informed of the PFAS risks in their area from the groundwater and standing water. The residents also need to be educated on the effects of PFAS and how to avoid it so they can adjust their lifestyles accordingly. The Assembly should push our U.S. senators and representatives to fund EPA and urge the EPA to do the necessary scientific work as quickly as possible. Please rewrite the groundwater and standing water sections of this bill to include that. Thank you. Questions?
Proceed, and you can stay right under 50, under 3 minutes. You have 27 seconds. Good.
Our town limits, town council meetings, the speakers at town council meetings to 3 minutes, so I practice.
Thank you, First Vice Chair, thank you, Chairman, and assembled representatives. My name is Mike Bradlee, and I own and operate a community compost facility in Providence. It is the state's first registered medium compost facility, and it's a model for how to develop a community compost operation. I did it for the sake of serving my community and utilizing the skills that I've acquired over both my personal interests and professional life to apply to that and to ensure there's a transition from a waste productive system to a waste reduction and a regenerative system. With those in mind, I have submitted written testimony, so I won't go into too much details, but I will just try to summarize my point, which is that I do support both bills. I understand some of the concerns, and I do believe that there's always opportunities for adjusting, but I would like to say that science is an ever-evolving and continually refining system in which you develop tests to establish trends and apply those to a situation. They can be applied at multiple levels. You don't have to have all the information because you will never have all the information. But you can, and we do have an understanding to the extent that we can start to apply and affect regulations or rulings to address this with the PFAS in packaging in particular. There are means to provide the same product, even a superior product, and the application of PFAS in any type of food packaging in which a person has intimate contact with through either the direct consumption of that material needs to be eliminated. This is of dire concern because its exposure is completely out of control of the individual. These packagings are often labeled with compostable on them and give the impression that they are innocuous, and people, in the effort to do the right thing, often drop off their packaging materials from their food at my compost depot. It gets commingled with the food. It's very difficult to separate. I have to have a zero tolerance policy for any type of packaging material at this point, and it requires me to hand sort over a ton of material, 2 tons of material sometimes each week, personally, to ensure that those packaging is removed. I would urge you to support both these bills and to see that they move forward and are passed.
Thank you for your testimony, and you took up the 27 seconds to be safe, so that's good. You're right on time again. Any questions for these 3 witnesses, please? Seeing none, thank you very much. Back to the chairman, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Speak
So
sorry.
you're suggesting that this so-called plant bottle is being put into your compost? For some reason, the
Yeah,
sign
so-
refers to these as being plant bottles.
Right, so you can have plant-based polymers that are created through raw materials that are either isolated, extracted, or derivatized from a plant source, and then create a polymer that's wholly and completely incompostable, non-compostable. So that's what's in the bottle. That's not a compostable polyphthalate, but you can isolate natural products that then can be polymerized. So what they're saying is that the polymer that went to create it was not from an oil-based source, but a plant-based source to create the same type of plastic polyphthalate.